with brain cancer when he was 4.5 years old.
I nearly lost my leg because of diabetes.
They said my baby was going to die because of her bone marrow cancer.
One day while going to college, I had a fall in a local, and then later on it was diagnosed that it is pilocytic astrocytoma.
Every time you take a tablet, do you think of why you take that particular one? Who made it? When and how was it created? Did you ever think that this simple tablet has been around for many, many years? And did you think of the amount of research that has gone into creating it? In fact, in the long, arduous journey of drug development and in the modern world, clinical testing is the only way to establish safety and efficacy of the medicine. We take these things for granted, but we must acknowledge that years of research have made this possible. Without clinical trials, medicine would not advance, and patients would not get better treatments.
Thanks to the SRTC trials, it has cured, I can say, my brain tumor. I'm feeling much more better now. I also represented my college for the badminton tournaments after this SRTC trials and completed my graduation, and now I'm just an intern with some company which is also into genomics.
If my diabetes had gone worse, it could have been amputated, but I was saved thanks to my doctor. He told me the many years of research and all the work that scientists had put in for developing a new treatment. So many patients had tried the treatment. Because they had tried the treatment, it also benefited me. My disease is under control and I'm feeling better. And now I can play with my grandchildren for many years to come.
A lot of people ask us why clinical trials are important in India. To me, it's multifactorial. From a cancer physician's perspective, it's important that patients get access to the latest medication in cancer, which may not be readily available outside a clinical trial.
Clinical trials aim to find out what benefits can come to patients.
I can give you the example of lung cancer, which I personally treat, where survivals have improved from an average of 6 months in the mid-90s to close to 30 months in this decade. All this has been possible because of a series of well-conducted clinical trials in lung cancer. It is also important for patients in India because access to these medications would not be possible outside a clinical trial.
It is equally important that the patient is looked after in all aspects to see that no adverse event happens or no adverse effect comes to the patient. Before anybody gets on to trial, we do explain in all details what does it entail to be in a given clinical trial and what side effects one should anticipate, so that it's a well-informed patient who is willing to share every information, and he signs an informed consent form to let us know that he has fully understood everything related to trial and he is voluntarily participating in this effort.
Every new drug that is evaluated in a clinical trial goes through a series of very carefully conducted experiments which decide what the dose of the drug in the trial should be. Once that is done, every patient who enters the trial goes through a very careful process of counseling where he or she is counseled about the pros and cons of participating in the trial, and frequently when they benefit from the trial, they actually get on to receive the drug almost free of cost for the rest of their lives, so, as long as they benefit from the drug.
My baby's bone marrow cancer is under control. There are high chances of her to live for many more years. I'm eternally grateful to my doctor for suggesting a clinical trial. Yeah? What?
The Indian government has very stringent regulations in place now to protect the patients. Companies which have sponsored good quality global clinical trials in India for 20 years now are even stricter than the law of the land in the way they conduct trials. Despite the risks which are explained to every patient and the fact that each patient only participates after fully understanding the entire process, many participate in clinical trials for the simple reason that not only does science advance, but more importantly, mankind as a whole benefits as well. Clinical testing can save your life. It can save millions of lives.